Hello and welcome to Business 360. I'm Shireen Bhan. The top stories that we are tracking for you this evening. The sensex and the nifty marginally in the green after a range-bound session. Mid-caps outperformed the blue chips even as the Nifty Bank Index ends flat. Private weather forecaster SkyMet highlights a 33% deficiency in rainfall in August, the worst in 122 years. This sparks fears that India may be poised for its worst monsoon season in 8 years. Escorts Kubota may be exploring the sale of its 850 crore rupee railway business. Sources say the company is in talks with prospective investors. That's a CNBC-TV18 exclusive. Employee stock options issued by FMCG major ITC putting the company's largest shareholder on the back foot. British American Tobacco's shareholding drops from 1/3 to just over 29% as things stand. ITC allotted over 10 crore shares to employees in FY23. The Supreme Court seeks a timeline from the centre on the transition of Jammu and Kashmir from a union territory to statehood. The centre says J&K's statehood status will be restored once the situation is returned to normalcy, however added that Ladakh will remain a union territory for some time. Manipur's one-day assembly session ends on a chaotic note amidst war of words between the Treasury and the opposition benches. 10 Kuki Zomi MLAs, regardless of party affiliation, skipped the session due to security concerns. This was the first time the assembly convened since ethnic violence broke out in the state in the month of May. 32% of food delivery workers in India are college graduates, as per a survey by the National Council of Applied Economic Research. 54% have passed class 12. The average age of a delivery worker is 29. Also on the show, a little-known Vietnamese electric vehicle maker is now the world's third most valuable automobile company. Vinfast shares have risen 700% in less than 2 weeks, but only 1% shareholding is available for trading, the remaining 99% controlled by the promoter. A special report coming up. Well, as always, first up, the market action of the day. It was a range-bound session. That's the story playing out on our screens. The Nifty 50 finally closing in the green, but up by about 37 odd points. The sensex higher by about 80 at 65,075. The Nifty Bank 0.5% higher. The Nifty mid-cap put on about 132 points. So that was the picture as far as our markets were concerned this Tuesday afternoon. One of the big stories that we are tracking this evening, private weather forecaster SkyMet has highlighted a 33% deficiency in rainfall in August, which could result in India's worst monsoon season in 8 years. Manisha standing by with the details. Manisha, SkyMet forecasting what is likely to be bad news for the economy. Take us through what this means as far as the agri-economy is concerned.
Well, there are concerns when you look at the monsoon final numbers. So from 1st of June to 28th of August, the monsoon is now 8% below normal. When you look at the report card till now, the month of June was 10% deficient. It was a delayed and a weaker monsoon in the month of June. July was a plus 15%. We saw great monsoon across most parts of the country. August until now is minus 33, so 33% deficient. And there is a report from SkyMet which says that the overall monsoon by the end of September could end with 9 to 10% of a deficiency here, because September isn't such a rainy month to begin with. 15 to 18% of the overall monsoon market share happens in the month of September. So that is in any case going to be on the weaker side there. Also, when you look at the various distribution there, East and Northeast have had the least or the highest deficiency at around 17%. South Peninsula is down 16% from normal monsoon. Central India down 6%. It only is Northwest which is 8% on the higher side. So slightly above normal onto this one. But the concern really lies in the details, because there is big deficiency that really seems to be building up in the eastern part, which is Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, deficiency at as high as 25% there. Jharkhand is looking at a deficiency of 34% in monsoon till time from 1st of June until now. Bihar is down 25%, Karnataka 20%. The worst hit state really is the Kerala, 48% of deficiency is what we are looking at. Madhya Maharashtra is 21% deficient, while overall Maharashtra is 9% deficient. Also, when you look at West Bengal and MP, it is also deficient by nearly 12%. So these are the major states where we have seen very less rainfall, and these are some of these states where we are also looking at Kharif sowing, which also seems to have gotten impacted as of now. So when you look at the overall Kharif sowing numbers as well, while overall numbers show 1% higher, Paddy is up 4% as well, but remember it needs a lot of rain. So does cane, which is also showing 1% higher on sowing, but it is going to be really about yield and quality of the final crop there. And then you have pulses, which is down 8% in sense of sowing. Cotton is down 2% as well. So the crop's really becoming a bit of a concern too.
El Nino conditions are going to extend further beyond monsoon also. Though the impact of El Nino during the northeast monsoon, we call it as a post-monsoon season also, that's a little different. It will even spill over to the winter months. Okay, so this is going to be a prolonged impact over Indian region of El Nino, the southwest monsoon, post-west monsoon, and even the winter rainfall. But then El Nino conditions that do not punish those two seasons much. Southern parts of peninsula in the post-monsoon season and even the winter rainfall.
A quick check of some of the other headlines. APL Apollo Tubes dropped 3% in early trade after 38 lakh worth shares were changed on the exchanges. This amounts to 1.5% of the company's total equity. CNBC-TV18 had earlier reported, citing sources with knowledge of the matter, that APL Apollo's promoters are likely to sell some stake in the company via block deals. Shares of Bharti Airtel down in trade after more than 1 crore shares worth 0.2% equity changed hands in a block deal. The transaction was valued at 922 crore rupees at an average price of 853 rupees a share. The buy and sell of the transaction not been announced just yet. PG Electroplast has plans to raise 500 crore rupees via qualified institutional placement. The floor price for the QIP has been placed at 1,641 rupees per share. Sources have told CNBC-TV18 proceeds will be utilized for capital expenditure of the company and its subsidiary. More corporate news. British American Tobacco, which owned nearly 1/3 of ITC, has seen its shareholding decline to just over 29%. Employee stock options issued by ITC over the years, including 10 crore shares issued in FY23, has led to this dilution in British American Tobacco or BAT's shareholding in ITC. Yusuf put the data together and Shilpa Ranipeta joins us now to present it. Shilpa, BAT on the back foot. Take us through the details.
Well, in 15 years, the British American Tobacco's holding in ITC has fallen by 2.96%. That's from about 32% in 2008 to about 29.04% as of June 2023. And as you pointed out, the reason for this is ITC's employee stock options issued by the company over the years. In fact, in its annual report, BAT said that the reduction in its share in ITC due to the ESOPs issued resulted in a loss of nearly £3 million. So each time ITC issues fresh shares under the ESOP scheme, the total equity base increases, right? And that has been diluting BAT's shareholding in the company. And this has been over the years. Now, most recent was the 10.5 crore shares that were allotted under the scheme in the last fiscal, which increased the equity base to about over 1,200 crore shares. And these were granted to some of the top executives of the company, which included the chairman Sanjeev Puri, ED Nakul Anand, the CFO Supratim Datta, among others. Now, why this data that was put together by my colleague Yusuf is interesting is because BAT is very interested in staying invested in the company. And the company's CEO, BAT's CEO, has said that he wants to keep BAT's stake at least at 25% in ITC. And why? Because that ensures that the company keeps its board seat and it has the power to steer the company towards more opportunities, especially the ones that BAT sees in India in the nicotine segment. More importantly, the holding of at least 25% also gives the company the power to veto resolutions in ITC. For instance, BAT had actually used its veto rights in ITC back in the day to actually, turn down ITC's ESOP proposal, and this was exactly on the grounds of stake dilution. Back to you.
All right, Shilpa, appreciate you joining us with that. Now, shares of Gokuldas Exports hitting the upper circuit in today's trade. This after the company announced the acquisition of UAE-based Atraco Group. The transaction would be worth $55 million. The deal is expected to close by the third quarter of this fiscal year. On to a CNBC-TV18 exclusive. Tractor maker Escorts Kubota is exploring the sale of its 850 crore rupee railway component business. Sources say the company is in talks with prospective investors. The move is expected to help the company in focusing on its core tractor business. Union Road Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari has unveiled the prototype of the world's first flex fuel engine car made by Toyota Motors. The Innova Hi-Cross will run entirely on ethanol, a fuel derived from plants. The BS6 compliant car will also have a lithium-ion battery, which will generate enough power to help it run on EV mode.
इथेनॉल की इकोनॉमी जिस दिन 2 लाख करोड़ की बनेगी, उस दिन एग्रीकल्चर ग्रोथ रेट जो 12% है वो 20% तक पहुंचेगा। पर मैं मानता हूं कि अभी जल्दी हम लोग पहले नंबर पर आएंगे और वर्ल्ड का पहला मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हब बनेंगे। इलेक्ट्रिक, इथेनॉल, मिथेनॉल, बायोडीजल, बायो LNG, बायो CNG।
Well, that is Nitin Gadkari. And staying with the auto sector, Hero Motor has launched the Charisma XMR. The starting price of the motorcycle is 1.73 lakh crore rupees. The bike is being offered in 3 colors, and this is the company's first liquid-cooled 210cc engine. Maruti Suzuki has plans to double its production capacity to 4 million over the next 8 years. Speaking at the annual general meeting, the company's chairman R.C. Bhargav also reiterated that Maruti has projected that its export volumes will touch 8 lakh cars by FY31. He also said the company will set up a manufacturing unit in Haryana to produce 1 million cars annually. Auto major Toyota has suspended operations at all of its assembly plants in its home country, Japan, following a system malfunction. The glitch has left the company unable to order components. A spokesperson has said the firm is trying to find the cause of the problem but does not believe it is due to a cyber attack. Speaking of auto, Vietnamese EV maker Vinfast is now the 3rd most valued automaker, surpassing legacy companies like Ford and General Motors. This after its shares surged 700% since its listing 2 weeks ago. Remember, the company went public through a special purpose acquisition company, or a SPAC, and its merger is almost entirely controlled by its founder. Hormuz Fatake joins us now with more on the company's rapid growth trajectory. Hormuz, what a story this is, but the question though is, how sustainable is this?
Well, absolutely, and some eye-popping numbers here for Vinfast, right? And now, as of closing on Monday, it was the 3rd most valued automaker of the world. Now, it was the 3rd most valued as of closing on Monday. The stock had a market capitalization of $190 billion, and it crossed 200 billion intraday, but it closed at $190 billion, and it became the 3rd most valued automaker in the world after Toyota, which was at $226 billion, and Tesla, which is way ahead at $750 billion. Now, I'll give you an example that explains the gulf between these companies. And as of last year, which is 2022, Toyota sold 10.5 million vehicles, and in comparison, Vinfast sold only 24,000 vehicles. Now, Vinfast started trading after merging with an SPAC company on the 15th of August, and since then the shares have seen some massive swings. The stock went up by 254% on the 15th of August, which was the day it started trading, and the last 3 sessions the stock has risen 32%, 40% and 19% respectively. Now, there is a reason as to why the stock has seen such sharp swings too. That is because Vinfast has an extremely low float in the market, and that is because 99% of the float is controlled by the company's founder, and this exposes the stock to volatility. The company's founder also happens to be Vietnam's richest man. Now, with Monday's surge, Vinfast is more valuable than half of the Dow Jones Industrial Average's constituents, and I'll name some of them as well, and they include Goldman Sachs, IBM, Boeing, Intel, Nike, and some big names out there. And now coming back to Vinfast, it sold 24,000 vehicles last year, and it expects to sell anywhere between 40 to 50,000 vehicles by the end of this year. The management also said that it is likely to break even and not turn a profit, but break even by the end of 2024. Now, as I say this, it's almost deja vu, as something similar has taken place earlier as well. Now, at the height of the IPO frenzy in 2021, a company called Rivian Automotive came out with its IPO. It was the largest IPO of the year, and the shares, which were priced at $78, went up to as high as $180 within 2 weeks of listing. But there was a problem. The company had zero revenue, and fundamentals caught up with Rivian soon after, and as of yesterday's close, the stock is languishing somewhere around the $20 mark. Of course, we are not implying that Vinfast will meet a similar fate, but with the way the stock is moving, it does appear that it is looking like a car without brakes, and if I was Rivian, I'd be telling Vinfast right now, मैं ये खेल पहले खेल चुका हूँ.
Yes, I'm sure that could be the chatter on between the two of them. Horviz, many thanks for joining us. Now, Kedara Capital is likely to invest around 1,000 crore rupees in Navneet Education's investee company K12 Techno Services. Sources say the deal valuation is likely a 25 to 30% premium to the last fundraise round. Kedara Capital is likely to buy out an existing investors looking to infuse fresh capital. India's tax department is probing an alleged tax evasion by the founder of 3 Indian unicorns, First Cry, Express Bees and Global Bees brands. The tax department, we learn, has sent a notice to founder Super Maheshwari asking why he hasn't paid over $50 million in taxes on equity transactions conducted privately. 6 investors in the startup, including Chris Capital and Sunil Bharti Mittal's family office, have also received inquiries in the matter. The CBI has arrested 2 enforcement directorate officials and the chief executive officer of Claridge's Hotels and Restaurants for allegedly receiving 5 crore rupees to help an accused in the Delhi Excise Police case. As per the FIR, the ED raided the properties of the accused in July and recovered a bribe amount of over 2 crore rupees. The matter was then referred to the CBI earlier this month. Unsecured lending remains a key risk for India's non-banking finance companies. The RBI recently called on executives at NBFCs to discuss the potential risks in small ticket loans and credit cards. In fact, last week at the CNBC-TV18 Banking Transformation Summit, Jairam Sridharan of Piramal Capital flagged this risk. Take a look.
I think we've all got to imagine that whether we can see it coming or not, a credit cycle is coming, right? And now which part of the segment it might come from.
How many years out, you think? I mean, best case.
You use the wrong word there. I would say months. You look at the data. What do we see right now at the industry level? We see secured lending products, risk continuing to come down across the full industry level. You see personal loans products, risk was coming down for a long time and now it has stabilized. And you see credit cards, it was coming down, it stabilized and now it has started going up. So credit cards has gone up. Within personal loans, which look stable, if you split it up into small ticket and large ticket personal loans, small ticket personal loans risk has already gone up compared to 6 months ago. So credit cards and small ticket personal loans risk is already up. MFI just went through a cycle 2 years ago, so they're not going to see any problems for a little while. But the semi-urban, urban markets, unsecured lending is risk going to remain where it is today, 6 months from now. I would bet serious money against it.
Well, that was Jairam Sridharan of Piramal Capital at the CNBC-TV18 Banking Transformation Summit. You can catch that conversation that my colleague Prashant Nair had with the top executives of NBFCs at 5:30 p.m. and 10 p.m. right here on CNBC-TV18. For more on all of our stories, do visit our website, cnbc-tv18.com. We will head into a short break, but up next, the Supreme Court seeks a timeline from the centre on the transition of Jammu and Kashmir from union territory to statehood. Details when we return.